Hello everyone, my name is Melanie Wood, founder and owner of Speaking Styles, and I specialise in helping people like yourself in business to be able to gain more clarity and confidence so that you can talk about yourself and be able to expand and grow your business or organisation. So welcome to today, and we're going to talk about how to be able to create content online and offline. Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. We are going to look at how to create your content online and offline. Who is excited to be able to get ready and learn some more skills that you're going to be able to have for your business or your organization? Let's get started. So what I want to look at as well, it's a great quote that I have around electric communication will never be a substitute for the face of someone with their soul who encourages another person to be brave and true. And that's what I want to talk about today, is by creating your content offline and online is about you. People want to see more of you and what you have to offer and to be able to connect with each other. So it's great to have written content, to be able to do all of those different things, but people need to be able to see and hear you. So that's our purpose of today's video. So the key thing around how do you create your content, whether it's on video, is that we have to plan ahead. So we don't just wake up one morning and go, you know, I'm going to do that live today, or I'm going to create that video without doing anything behind the scenes, because you know what'll happen is you won't know what to say. You'll press record and you'll start waffling. All of these things will start to happen when we do not plan ahead. So today's video is going to really be around how you're going to plan ahead and create that content for what your audience needs from you. So let's get started, everybody. So number one of today is that you want to be able to know who your audience is. So once you start to know who your audience is, you can start to speak to them. Because that's the key thing around when we speak to people, we have to know who our audience is so we can speak their language. So a couple of the questions that I want you to note down and really think about from today's video is, who are they? So are they male? Are they female? Are they young? Are they middle? Are they older? Like, who are they? Because if you know who they are, it's easier to speak to them, right? So what do they do? So you might find that there's a certain people that come to you and work with you. So maybe if you don't know, have a look at your client base or your customer base and start to build a profile of those people. And that's the great way to be able to move forward, is on past experience. So really getting to understand who those people are that you normally work with, and what do they want and what do they need. So that's a key thing around when you know who they are, what do they do, what do they want, and what do they need, means that you can create that content for that audience. So sometimes a lot of people get a little bit overwhelmed, or they get a little bit fearful around niching down. But the key thing is when you do that, your audience then knows that you're the key person to go to. So a lot of people, and depending what you do, stay really generic, which is fine for if that's your industry. However, if you want to be able to work with those people that you absolutely love to work with, they need to know that you're that key person to help them. So again, I know it can be a little bit scary at first to really narrow it down, and it might just be that you only work with females, you only work with males, or you only work with people in key industries. To be able to communicate that is so important. Because then that's going to lead me on to point number 2 that we have today in this video. Is that when we're creating content, we have to know what's the end goal in mind. So again, not waking up that day and going, I'm going to do a video, I'm going to do a live, I'm going to create some content, and you don't actually know what the end goal in mind is. So as you'll see in the signpost, is that, do you want to educate people with what you have? Do you want to inform them more? Do you want to empower them with what you have to say? Do you want to inspire them? So having a think, and you might have a couple of more extra ones there to note down. But once you know what exactly your end goal is, you can start to be able to create that content and work backwards. So what's the purpose of what you have to say? So again, going back to that audience, what's their needs and their wants? So what's the purpose of that video that you're going to be creating, or what the purpose is that you're going to be speaking to with people in person? So what do the audience want to gain from you? So say you're wanting to educate them on something around a tutorial, that you want to educate them more on the services that you offer, the products that you offer, the type of person that you are, then really having a think of what will they gain, what will they learn from you. So sometimes it might just be is that they learn a little bit more about who you are and what you do, and that's great. And then they'll gain more of an insight, they'll gain more of an education, they'll gain an empowerment, because maybe you've been able to give them more information of something they could do at home. So rather than thinking that we can't give key value to people because then, well, they could just go off and do it themselves. But here's the thing, when we add value and we add tips and tools and strategies, is that yes, they will be able to do certain things at home, but if they really want to go to the next level, or they really want to expand on what they're doing, they will need to come to you to be able to have that provide that service that you have for them. So again, what will they learn from you? So those are key things to think about, is your end goal in mind when it comes to speaking online or offline. So really take some time to sit down and answer some of those questions. And my key suggestion to you is that you do this every single time you're creating a video. Every single time you're having a conversation or you're going out there to meet people, start going through these steps that I'm going to be able to teach you today, because these are going to really benefit you greatly of really being able to be seen and heard online and offline. So then number 3 leads me to what's the value for the audience? So this is where we have to be thinking about our audience, because they're going to be thinking, what's in it for me and why should I listen to you? So this is where I was talking about before, is that you want to be able to educate, inform people, empower them, inspire them. So once you know that end goal, you're going to be able to know, well, what's the value that I can offer people in this video? And you really want to keep it simple. So this is another key common mistake that people make, is they feel they have to overload people with so much information, and people walk away going, I don't actually know where to start and what to do, because it's just been too much information overload and they cannot digest it. So like what you can see in the video today, I've broken it down into steps. So that's the key value, is that when we chunk things down for people, it's easy for you to remember how to communicate it, but it's easy for your audience to listen, to understand, and take action. So I want you to think about, is there key points, steps, tips, tools, strategies? What is it that you're going to be sharing with people? Then that gives you an opportunity to chunk down that value. So then what happens is you might go, right, well, I've got 2 key things that I want to talk about with people in this video or in person. And that's what I'm going to focus on. So less is more. Really just think of maybe 1 to 3 points that you're going to be able to communicate with people, and don't try and add any more things in than those key points, because then you're going to not waffle, you're going to get to the point, and your audience is going to understand that structure and the process to be able to take action. So that's the key of how you're going to be able to deliver that value. So whether it's on camera, whether it's in person, it's exactly the same. You can use this framework and structure for online and offline as well. So then that leads me to our final point today, is call to connection. So this is where, when you get to the end of what you're saying, is you want to be able to wrap it up, summarize, and then what's the next key action for your audience. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be anything salesy. So I get this a lot where people go, I don't want to be really salesy when I get to the end of what I'm saying. But what we want to do is get yourself into the habit of next steps. And then your audience knows what's the next steps for them. So key things could be is, here's my next step for you. subscribe to this freebie that I have. Give me a thumbs up in the comments and let me know that this has been helpful. You might have a resource that you might want to be able to share. So thinking of just some key simple things that you can be able to get. If it's in person, you say, if anybody's really been able to benefit from this, like raise your hand, you know, just different really fun things that you can bring into that call to connection at the end, and that really be able to have your audience see you as the experienced or the expert in your field. So that's the 4 tips for today of really being able to plan ahead for that content that you're going to be able to showcase to your audience. So that's what you need to do from today. Plan ahead is key. Know who your audience is. What's your end goal in mind? What's the key value that you're going to share? And what's that call to connection that you're going to give to the audience members, whether it's online or offline? That is your to-do list from today and your key next steps in this video. So my last question for you is around how are we going to be communicating with people in the future? And right now, technology is something that we're using predominantly. So how are you going to use that technology to be able to communicate in the future for you and your audience? Thank you again for watching today. Go out there, start planning ahead for your future videos or in-person events that you're going to be going to, and really start to be able to empower, inspire, or connect and connect with your audience and really go out there and showcase more of who you are and what you do. Thanks for watching.